around the hairline, trying not to get it in the hair. Okay, and we're going to go down, back on the other side. We also need to get it on the tips of the ears, because that tends to be where people burn at also. Then next, you would put on your gloves to protect yourself from the relaxer. Now, let's go over application. I want to demonstrate both techniques. First, we're going to go over the virgin technique. The virgin technique is how you do the virgin technique.
Yeah.
Body heat makes the relaxer process faster, okay? So you want to leave it off of the scalp first. The ends are very porous, which means they are going to process also as fast and can be damaged even more. So on a virgin relaxer, you want to start about a ½ inch away from the scalp, and you want to do the mid shaft only. Now your subsections are ½ inch subsections. The reason for this is because relaxers are so harsh, you need plenty enough hair for the relaxer to go through so that it won't damage it. Okay, so I'm going to put the hair in my hand and I'm going to apply it to the mid shaft only, because the mid shaft is the healthiest part of the hair, which means it's going to take longer to process. So I'm going about 1 inch to my ends and about a ½ inch from my scalp. Okay, let me show you that one more time. Once again, this is our virgin application. We're going to take ½ inch subsections. I'm going to apply the relaxer a ½ inch from the root down to about 1 inch from the ends, because our ends are porous and we don't need them to be any more damaged. How about one more? Let's do one more. Okay, so we're taking ½ inch subsections, applying the relaxer a ½ inch from the new growth, down to about 1 inch from the ends. Now, once a virgin relaxer has been processing, once the mid shaft of the virgin relaxer has been processed, then you want to proceed. Sorry about this. It'll never fall off your real clients, let me tell you. So once you apply it to the mid shaft and the mid shaft is processed and you see that the curl is starting to be broken down, that's when you want to go back, take your ½ inch subsections, and apply it to the roots, to the new growth, and then take it all the way down to your ends, like so. Okay, let me show you again. So once the mid shaft has processed, you go back and take your ½ inch subsections, apply it to your new growth first, and then bring it down to your ends. That is your virgin application. Now let's go over your retouch application. Now, we spoke earlier about a retouch application. Your retouch application is for your clients that are previously relaxed that just need their new growth touched up. So with that being said, we're going to say that the client has a ½ inch of new growth. So we're going to apply it to the ½ inch new growth, trying very hard not to overlap the previously relaxed hair, because all that's going to do is dry the hair out and make it brittle. Still taking ½ inch subsections, I'm applying it to a ½ inch of the root. Let's try to do that again. Okay, so she has about a ½ inch new growth. I'm applying it to the ½ inch of the hair, taking a ½ inch subsection, and applying it to a ½ inch of the new growth. One more time. Okay. ½ inch of the new growth, taking ½ inch subsections, and applying it only to the new growth, the part that has not been previously relaxed. Now, once on your retouch application, once the new growth has been processed, then you want to go ahead and follow up with your neutralizing shampoo and your very good conditioner. Now, I'm so sorry about that. So you want to let the relaxer process according to the manufacturer's instructions. All relaxers are different. It's up to you to stop and read the directions on each relaxer so you can decide how long the relaxer needs to stay and how long it doesn't. Now, at the end of our class, we are going to set up a guided practice. I'm going to set up 5 different mannequins with 5 different textures of hair. You are to analyze your client, you are to analyze their scalp and their hair, and you decide what type of relaxer is needed. Now, relaxers are a great way to increase your salon profit. It helps to manage natural hair. There are many, many different types of relaxers. But my question to you is, are relaxers for everybody?
No.
No, they're not. It's up to you, the individual person, to decide if the relaxer is for your client or not. Now, to become familiar with all the different types of relaxers, I would like for you to review Chapter 18 on your relaxer portion of that chapter. And I want you just to reread what we went over to make sure you have a great understanding for your relaxers and that you can know the difference between different curl patterns and the needs of each client. I want y'all to understand and master the application process. At the end of this week, we will go over, we will do another review over this because we all will have a quiz at the end of the week. And your formal assessment at the end of this chapter, you will have to perform a relaxer on a live model. So be thinking about what model you can get to come in. Now, are there any questions about our relaxer techniques? Do we have any questions?
Yes.
Okay, what's your question?
How long do we take? How long do we put the relaxer?
Oh, how long do you leave the relaxer on?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it depends on what type of relaxer you use. A lot of stylists work on, they leave the relaxer on until the relaxer starts to burn. I don't recommend that. I recommend you read the instructions, and if the relaxer says stay on 8 minutes, then leave it on 8 minutes. I don't recommend leaving it on until the client starts to burn or the client starts to tingle, because that's whenever you start to make chemical burns. And chemical burns are very hard to get rid of. Are there any other questions?